fantastic moments on the show. It's hard to pick one, but this one really stands out to me. As mentioned, we were on a strict budget now, and it was Brian's birthday. Back when we had great ratings, money flew out the window on birthday shows. Helicopters, raiding stadiums, flying in major bands, the works. Since this was no longer the case, this would be Brian's birthday on a shoestring budget. And this boy holds his birthday up there with Christmas. So I had to come up with something I thought he'd like, but spend very little in doing it. Brian told me a story from his days in Chicago. He waited tables, did improv, pretty much anything he could to earn a buck. He then auditioned for the part of Bozo the Clown for WGN's sponsored talent show. And he was on with Brian and one other guy. Clearly, the other guy got it. Brian was the no-go Bozo. So my idea was to turn Brian into Bozo the Clown for one day, which I thought was brilliant. And it was. I contacted Larry Harmon, the original Bozo and the owner of the rights to Bozo. I told him Brian's story and arranged for him to fly into LA, bring the original Bozo costume, huge shoes, hair, makeup, the works, and transform Brian into Bozo. But Bozo Brian. The day before Brian's birthday, it hits me. Brian always comes to his birthday shows dressed nicely because he and his friends like to go out and celebrate afterwards. So there was no way that Brian is going to agree to this Bozo makeup job, Larry Harmon or not. My only option was then clear. I drove to the liquor store and I bought 2 large bottles of Patron tequila. Larry would arrive around 7, giving me an hour to get Brian's drunk on. It's a challenge, but I know Brian. And I'm thinking I got this. The next morning, the control room was decked in birthday crap, and Brian is dressed very nicely as expected. So I told him that I had a really special birthday planned for him and that it would be best if he took the edge off, with a shot or maybe 2. My goal was to get 5 shots down before 7. I poured his first shot and he threw it back. Then I decided to hit it while the liquor's flowing, so I poured a second and he threw that one back. I realized then this wasn't going to be a problem. This man came to have him some birthday, so by God, let's have him some Bozo birthday. It was imperative that I sell this very because we had KTLA, Channel 5, coming in to broadcast all of this live on television. But Brian isn't drunk enough yet to know that. Because if Brian refuses to put that Bozo shit on, I'm gonna fucking kill him. Now it's 7, and Brian is really well oiled. 6 shots down. I hit the air with the story of Brian's failed Bozo audition. And then I said, so since you didn't get to be Bozo then, you're gonna be Bozo today. Please welcome the original Bozo the Clown, Larry Harmon. Larry walks into the room. Brian's face lit up as if God, Lord Jesus himself, had just walked in. Brian was genuinely stoked to meet this guy. It took an hour for the transformation from Brian to Bozo, and Brian continued his tequila shots during the process. I had nothing to do with that. When Larry was finished, I knew Brian was in there somewhere. But with the costume and the perfect makeup, the finished product was truly amazing. That was clearly Bozo's story. And Bozo was drunk as fuck. Thinking we might take Bozo out somewhere, I had the engineering department get the Mark and Brian mobile ready. The idea of having Bozo do a short show for some kids was appealing. So it was decided that we would head to Carl's Jr. since we might find a few kids there. And it was close. Driving up La Cienega with Bozo sitting next to me in a convertible was perfection. Bozo's hair was flapping in the wind and listeners were following us, blowing their horns. Bozo hit Carl's Jr. show ready, and the kids never knew what hit him. Bozo made some balloon animals in his show, and then he took a few whacks of a Bozo piñata since it was Cinco de Mayo. But then came my favorite moment, and no one knew it happened but me. While Bozo was doing the show, he went silent for about 5 seconds. Then I heard, "Easy now." But it wasn't in Bozo's voice. It was Brian's voice. Later, Brian told me that with him forcing out the Bozo voice and laugh, combined with being drunk, that he almost passed out. When he said, "Easy now," he was talking to himself. How funny would it have been if Bozo had passed out cold in front of the kids? Folks, we were almost there. Then came the infamous photograph. I poured Bozo. On the way, someone snapped a picture of drunk Bozo sitting in the convertible enjoying a post-show smoke. His eyes were tiny slits, and his Bozo wig had started to slide back on his head, allowing a little bit of blonde to show through. The photo says it all. It is without question my very favorite photograph of all time. But kids,